What's up, Closer Nation? Hey, I got some awesome B2B tips for you today. I was sitting at the beach and I just happened to think about this stuff. Me and my man P Dizzle, we've been out surfing, and I have something that I'm gonna share with you. It's gonna be awesome. In the meantime, enjoying my view. There's old Patrick. What's up, Patrick? Say what's up to the people.
What's up, Closer Nation?
Yeah, we streaming. We just chilling. We've been surfing out here today. It's been little baby waves. It's been fun though. It's been a lot of fun. Lots of nice people out here. It's been actually, Rincon's a great place to come for surfing. It's just like a beautiful place altogether. The people here are great, man. I couldn't have asked for a better experience, really, and it's relatively affordable. And if you're an American, you don't have to have a passport, man. It's like everything. So here's the thing: we were looking at Uber last night, and they don't have it here in Puerto Rico. And Patrick and I, we were just like going through this brainwave and everything. And one of the guys even mentioned in the Sales Talk with Sales Pro group earlier that he got in an Uber last night. The dude started pitching him MLM. And on one hand, like, kudos to that guy. That's a real hardcore closer, right? If you get in somebody's Uber ride and they pitching you on some MLM, they know they got your ass captive. They know you're not going anywhere, dude. That's some savagery shit, man. I fucking love it. But here's the thing. It got me to thinking. It's like, okay, MLM is kind of like, spammy, or it has its reputation or whatever. But let's talk about, like, using that to your advantage. That's a great lead gen if you do it correctly. So here's what I would do. I would go buy myself a Denali or a Cadillac Escalade or a Chevy Suburban that was super nice, and I would go hang out near the office and near the bars that my perfect client would be at, right? So if I sell business insurance and I'm trying to sell to an executive at Goldman Sachs, I'm gonna make sure that I sign up for Uber, and my Cadillac, the nicest ride that they could select on Uber, I'm gonna make sure that my Cadillac is the one they get into. Then I got their ass captive, right? Then all of a sudden, I've got the ability to talk to the decision maker. I've got the people that are hiring Uber, you can check where they locate at, right? Where they GPS check in. If they check in from the building that you're trying to prospect in, man, you could pick those people up all day long. You could be sitting on the corner, making cold calls, making your referral calls, all whatever it is that you do in the B2B world. In the meantime, you'd be signed up for Uber, making a couple of dollars to generate leads and have business conversations with people who are interested in your stuff, or at least have maybe the contacts. So let's say you don't get the CEO in your Uber, but let's say you get the CEO's secretary. You have a conversation with her, you guys bond, you be able to pitch her your shit, she likes you, you build rapport, she gives you an introduction, says to the CEO, maybe you should talk to him. It happens to Lindsay all the time. People say something to her, she mentions it to me, and sometimes we've made some connections there. So think about that, like how easy, it's a way that you can get paid for lead gen. And for those of you just getting started, especially you youngsters, this is a way for you to make extra money delivering people. Like, get a nice vehicle, go lease it from the dealership, get a nice vehicle, and go out there and get inside of Uber and Lyft. That way you're covered on both ends, and you hang out in the financial district. You hang out in front of the bars where the lawyers and shit meet. I know that the lawyers meet at the Bank of America Plaza at the City Club at about 7 o'clock on Fridays. So if I was looking for lead gen for people, for lawyers, I would go get Uber and Lyft. I'd go get signed up for them, and I'd park my ass out in front of the Bank of America Tower until about 9 o'clock. And everybody that checked in at the Bank of America Tower on Uber, I'd go over there, I'd pick them up. Hey, it's just like any other lead. Some will, some won't, so what? Some people are not the decision makers, some people, but it's the same when you get any lead, right? You get a lead in an email, you don't know, they could be someone looking for whatever it is you sell, or they could be someone who made a mistake and just put their information in. It's the same. Sometimes you get somebody in your Uber or your Lyft that is the decision maker that you can pitch your stuff to, or sometimes, you know what, it's just somebody that you have a cool conversation with on the way. But anyway, that's the type of stuff that you're gonna have to do, and that's what we teach in Break Free Academy Entourage. But that's the kind of stuff that you're gonna have to do in order to innovate sales as we move forward, right? The same old way of making cold calls and all that other stuff. And listen, if you're driving for Lyft or Uber and you're sitting outside, if you must make cold calls, if that is a necessity for right now at the level that you're playing at in business, make those calls, right? You just make them from your car, and then when you get the check-in or the ding from Uber to go pick people up, just go scoop them up. That way you can have the conversation with them. So it's amazing what happens when you come out here with no computers and you clear your mind, you start thinking about things. But I thought, man, this is a great way for the B2B people to be able to connect with who they want to connect with and make it easy, and then get paid for lead gen, right? So the people that you drop off, guess what? You're making your calls in between, you're following up with people. The people you drop off, you still get paid from Uber. Uber still pays you, and Uber lets you know how far they're going. So you know if somebody's checking in at the office and they're going, like in Dallas, if they're checking in at the Bank of America Plaza and they're driving and they need a ride to Highland Park, that's a fucking prospect, man. That's somebody who lives in $1 million home that just left the most expensive building in downtown Dallas, right? That is a prospect of someone that if they're not the decision maker, they know them. So think about that. Instead of making all the calls, driving around, knocking doors, all the traditional stuff, you've got to be innovative if you're going to stay in this sales game moving forward, because people are going to be thinking like this all the time. Now, meanwhile, if you want to keep on track, and you want to learn the latest techniques on ideas like this, ways to sell people, ways to get your information out there, ways to leverage the internet, go to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. There's a whole sales page. You can read the whole thing there. It's breakfreeacademy.com/entourage, and you can join us back there in the Entourage. The next night school is in 2 weeks, and we'll see you then. Later. I'm going to go back to... Tell the folks later, Pat.